Hey, welcome to another episode of Test Chamber. We are taking a look at what I feel is one of the worst named games ever, Real Racing 3. Wow, talk about creativity. I'm your host, Andrew Reiner, and I got Matthew Kato sitting with me.
How's it going?
This is the first time, I'm doing really well actually. This is the first time we've done a iOS game for Test Chamber. We're playing it on an iPad, and Kato, why don't you just fire it up and let's take a look at this game here. You've been playing this for the last few days. What are your thoughts?
You know, the title isn't very imaginative, but it does give you a sense of kind of what they're going after. And, you know, per the title, they're going after some more realistic racing on your iPad. So as you can see here, there's plenty of licensed cars that you can choose from. There's real tracks. And, you know, once you're actually out on the track and you're actually racing, you know, certainly you're using the tilt functionality of the iPad. It's also available on you know, Android, basically the iOS systems, and Kindle as well.
So how does that work? I rarely use it on console, you know, with the PS3 and stuff like that. But how's, you know, obviously that's probably the best way to control something on iPad for a racing game. How is it?
It's very good, actually. You know, I admit I was very skeptical about how it would control, you know, because I'm very much like a controller guy, like, you know, most of us. But
who's that 6-year-old over there?
That is actually a real person they drop in. This is part of what they call
real tracks, real cars,
real people. It's actually asynchronous multiplayer. So what it is that person's actually run their lap already, but instead of just being a ghost, they're actually a person you can interact with. So if I wanted to, let's say, like nudge this guy, you know, he will change his trajectory, and he'll also respond to what's going on around him, you know, in the track. So it's not just like a ghost that is just sort of a weird straight line that is, you know, sort of disembodied, so to speak, from the racing experience. It's actually responding to what's going on. So it's kind of cool. So it's naturally your friends, and they also will drop in extra people as well. So it's up to a race field of 20.
Wow, the tech looks amazing, and this is developed by Fire Monkeys. Electronic Arts is the publisher. There's been some controversy about this game already, now that it's been out, and that is with the microtransaction model.
Yes.
Has that affected you at all, Kato, or are people overreacting?
You know, I'm a little early in the game. I don't know if you saw out there, I'm the driver level 3. And so basically it's like, you know, I can certainly, you know, buy money to buy cars, but the repair aspect, I think, is where some of the grind comes in, because you have to repair the cars after you damage them. You know, you could want a situation where you're just like, okay, I'm going to just grind to get coins, but of course when you grind and you damage your car more, then of course you're just sort of in this hole of like, well, now I have to spend money just to repair. But the ultra added thing, which I think maybe some people have, you know, it's kind of bugging people, is that repairs and buying cars basically take time. So it's not enough that you just spend the money or the coins to get the car or the repair. You have to then wait for it to go through. And the longer you play, the more time that takes. So an oil change could take, you know, 5 minutes at the beginning, but if you've been playing for like 3 hours or whatever, or a couple hours, it could end up taking, or even less than that. You know, I've had it go into like the hour mark just to change my oil. So
that's not realistic.
Yeah.
That's not real.
And
Fire
so,
Monkeys.
you know, while certainly maybe you're thinking, well, you know what, hey, it's an iOS game, I'm really not going to play it for that long. You know, I'm going to play it in little bite chunks. That could be good. At the same time, if you really want to sit down and like devote some time, and you know, honestly, it's the kind of game where I could see myself sitting down and just racing a lot. That's when it starts to get annoying. Now, the one thing that you can do is you can spend coins to speed that up. And so if you see up in the upper right-hand corner, I have 2 gold coins. Well, if I wanted to, let's say, change my oil, it could offer to do it for me faster or immediately if I spend those gold coins.
Ding.
See, now my driver level went up. I'm going to get some reward of some coins, which could be very useful. So as we go through here, see the repairs here. It says
you have to repair after every race.
Yeah, 4 repairs, and it can show you, you know, what the effect is on your car currently.
That's 60 coins?
No, those are dollars. Those are dollars. But if I go down here to the service, see, now it's all in the green, but of course, as you can see, as you go and race through, you're going to have to do things like service your engine, service your oil, etc. And this is where the coins come in and having to spend them. And if we go into the store here, of course, you can, just by straight money. You can.
How high does that get, by the way? Is it $100 their max? That seems where iOS devs are kind of maxing out.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely
$100.
99. And if we go here into the packs, which can be very, very useful. There's the value ones. You get car, you're getting gold, you're unlocking, series in the race, and it,
I really like their interface. Really nice and clean.
Yeah. So if we go back out here, we can also upgrade here, as if you can show. Each car has about 11 upgrades, and I think there's 46 cars, I believe, 9 real-world tracks, and so certainly you can install any of these. But of course, the install, you can spend the money, but of course it's the install that might take the time.
Right,
so.
And then you're also, I kind of like the way that's set up, where you can spend the money, but you got to keep an eye on your money because you don't want to run out of oil. You want to have the money to be able to repair your car and keep it in tune for your next race.
I mean, just in the time that I've played, I think I got my second car. So I had my first car. I certainly repaired it a bunch. I even installed an upgrade or two. And then I bought my second car, I want to say, 3-4 hours in. As you can see, I'm driver level 4. I've done 22% of this pure stock challenge, which is the first main series you're going to get into. So there's a number of races, you can race through here.
Now you got 12th in that race. What if you would have got first? Like, what kind of money reward? How many coins are you looking at for placing?
Definitely a couple thousand for the currency, and I probably would have gotten. I might have gotten 2-3 coins, I think. 12th, obviously isn't going to do you a lot. But if you're getting, I'd say podium finish, first, second, third, certainly that's good. Even if you're getting, this one I certainly could re-race. Even if I got like 4th or 5th, I'd be getting some decent money.
Let's take a look at one more race here.
Yeah, sorry, that was actually an oval, but there's plenty of twists and turns, and it just feels good. It doesn't feel, the racing itself doesn't feel too caterwauly. It doesn't feel like you're out of control. At the same time, it does favor, kind of like real racing, it does favor, precise movements. You can't just be, jerking the screen left and right. There's a couple different control options. You can race automatic brake, automatic gas. I prefer to do it where my right thumb is gas, my left thumb is brake, and of course I'm steering. There are some times when it feels like the brake is a little digital, where it's like, you're either on the brake or you're not on the brake, either on the gas or not on the gas. But in most cases, it actually has a decently subtle feel. Like I said, I was kind of pleasantly surprised by how it felt. And there's also, by the way, a steering sensitivity adjustment. So if you feel that,
Kato.
If you feel that maybe you just want it a little differently, you can adjust it, as you like it.
That was shades of Gran Turismo 2 right there, where you just ram off cars to keep going. Is that a strategy in this?
By any means necessary. That's my strategy. I don't know, the makers, they may have their own things, but
this is a realistic simulation. Don't do that, please.
As we all know, you do what you got to do on the track at the moment.
You didn't lose much speed right there. I'll get that guy. Who's the douchebag that puts in a picture of a car in a racing game as their avatar icon?
Yeah, they probably don't own that car either.
Wipe him out. Put him into a barrier.
So far, I talked to the developer, and they said that, while the people who are in your races, they do try to do some level of matchmaking, so it's obviously you're not getting blown away. But there are cars in here that can be upgraded. So although there's the same class as you, maybe they've got a few more upgrades. So it's not, it's not exact, but so far I haven't felt that I've come across, a race where it's like somebody's just totally, blowing me away. Other than that, they're just a pretty decent racer.
So one of the complaints I saw, people said that it takes forever to buy a really nice car. Mm-hmm. And they say it's a grind, but it's like this genre, the Forzas, the Gran Turismos, I don't know how many hours you'd have to put into. You'd have to do like those 100-lap races, those are a grind to get the better cars, right?
Yeah.
I guess that's changed a little bit over the years with DLC packs and stuff like that, but the general structure, if you don't want to pay as you play, it takes a while to really get to a high level, to get the A license and all that stuff in those games.
And I think,
this design seems kind of true to the genre, but obviously, the repair thing is a little crazy.
Yeah, I would say two things in general. Just my personal opinion is like, you're right. I mean, these are, from what we're used to of kind of the sim or the Gran Turismo kind of things, it's like you want to earn those cars. Those cars do cost a lot of money, you know, but they're worth it because those are the prizes you get for, you know, doing well. And I would say just, again, personally, it's like, this is a free game, and I think it's of a quality that I don't mind paying money for it. So if I have to pay, you know, a little bit of money to get some coins, and, you know, naturally, like I said, I haven't played, you know, it for weeks or anything, but if I have to pay a little bit, I think the experience is worth it.
It's a good game. So you're saying if you really enjoy playing it, you can either just keep grinding away to make in-game currency to get what you need, or if you want to cut some corners, spend a couple bucks.
Yeah,
right?
I wouldn't mind spending a couple dollars of my money just, you know, to get something, to get over a hump or two, you know, now and again.
And how much is the game out of the App Store?
It's a free game.
Okay.
So yeah, you can go get it right now, and you know, like I said, you know, maybe if you're playing it for a month and maybe, you know, there's an escalation, you know, a couple weeks in, I'm not really sure. I admit I can't speak to that, but you know, from what I played, I've definitely enjoyed it.
All right. Well, thanks for taking the time to show us this, Kato, and thank you all for watching. We'll see you next week on Test Chamber.